Welcome to this episode of Locked In. In this episode, I'm going to be doing my full review of the OruCase Smuggler Handlebar Bag and Saddlebag. If you're looking for a small, minimal, and weight weenie friendly handlebar bag and saddlebag, please stay tuned. So in this video, I'm going to be going over my specs and features of both of these bags, as well as mounting, price, and my final thoughts. Now let's get into the Smuggler Bag Handlebar Bag. This is a ultra minimal and very extremely lightweight handlebar bag, and there are tons on the market, so I wanted to show off this bag for a few unique features and potential good gift idea for the cyclist in your life. So the core materials used in both these products is Dimension Polyit VX42 fabric, which is waterproof to 200 PSI. And they do use a waterproof YKK zipper. And as you can see here, the real standout feature to separate it from a lot of handlebar bags is they do actually spec it with a volet strap instead of your traditional Velcro. They do offer this in a few different colorways, so depending on when you're watching this, please check the links in the links below for both products to see what they're currently available in. So for all you weight weenies out there, I wanted to weigh this with just obviously nothing in it and just the straps itself, and this weighs in at basically nothing at a rated 74 grams on my scale, which is extremely lightweight for this size. And the total carrying capacity for this is rated at 1.15 liters. And as far as exterior dimensions, this is going to be a 3.5 inch by 3.5 inch and by 7.5 inches long. So if you want to measure that up kind of on your current bike or handlebars, it'll kind of give you the general overview of the size of this bag. Now let's get into the saddlebag. This is a very ultra minimalistic saddlebag, and when I got it, I was like, this is smaller than it even looked on pictures, and I was actually surprised at how much stuff I was able to get in here. Again, this is very lightweight. It's going to be using the same materials as a handlebar bag, and again with a volet strap. This is obviously a little different width of strap compared to the handlebar bag. And the one nice feature that this does have to obviously keep the strap out of the way, being under your seat so it doesn't actually touch you, is it does have a convenient little clip here to slide the excess material of the strap into, which is really nice, and again keeps it from touching you when mounting underneath. Now this is going to be something I'd say for definitely the minimalist, or someone who is going to be not carrying obviously a ton of stuff or need to carry extra gear. Now obviously with the combination of both of these items, you can carry all the gear that you may have carried in the saddlebag, like extra gloves or anything like that. You can obviously put that in a handlebar bag, but again, this is really nice and lightweight and small. And just for, again, all the weight weenies out there, let's see what this weighs on my scale. Again, empty with just the strap by itself. We're sitting in at 49 grams. Now, I don't know how lightweight, and usually when you're looking at a saddlebag or any of these kind of bags, they don't list the weight, but this is kind of cool. And again, very, very small. Now let's get into mounting. Both of these, again, are going to use the volet strap mounts. Now on the handlebar bag itself, you're going to see you have multiple positions for these volet straps. You're simply going to wrap them around the bars, and then you're basically going to kind of tuck the excess strap into itself to kind of hold it. Now this length of volet strap is going to be obviously able to handle around brake cables, shift cables, and thicker bar tape in my experience. It mounted up very easily, and you can get a good amount of pull on these volet straps because of the stretch to get a real nice fit, because they don't actually include a third mount here like most bags do to basically attach a shock cord to the head of the bike. But this being so lightweight, as long as it's loaded pretty well, I haven't had any issues of stuff bouncing around or haven't seen the bag move a ton on me when riding the bike. Now, as far as the saddlebag, I do have to say this was a little bit harder to get going. I don't know if it's because the thicker volet strap was harder to just initially pull to get tight. And if you overstuff this bag, I think that this volet strap's maybe a tad short. So just keep in mind you can't really go that small with this in general. So now let's get into what fits inside the handlebar bag. Now typically when running a handlebar bag, I like to basically carry excess items, especially when it is cold, you're bringing extra layers with you. This is really where the handlebar bag shines, and for a shorter ride or a road ride or an all-road day ride where you don't really need to keep a lot on you, this is a great thing to carry, especially for your extra garments, in my opinion, so that you can free up a back jersey pocket for extra food or anything else, instead of having to basically waste one on a vest and gloves if you do need to carry more than just one pocket of food, or maybe you're bringing your camera out with you or something like that. So as you can see here, so I'm going to open the bag, and this material does flex pretty easily, so it is actually pretty easy to open this up while riding. But typically what you're going to put in here, at least in my experience, is a set of gloves. This is my Giro vest. And again, this being a minimal bag, it's not going to carry a ton of stuff, but you can see here that plus a gel, a bar, and some Bonk Breaker energy chews. And this thing's pretty fully stuffed. But again, this is definitely more than I would be able to really fit in one jersey pocket. I mean, I probably could if I really wanted to stuff it in there, but this is essentially what I'd expect most people are going to use. Obviously, if it is warmer or you don't need the extra clothing, that's a ton of space for a camera, extra batteries, or just more food or a full burrito from Chipotle in general. Now let's get into the saddlebag. This is obviously pretty minimal, and in my experience, the only way you're really gonna make this work is if you go with a very lightweight tube or don't bring tubes, or you go with what I like to use, and I'll be having a full review on these as well, is a Turbo Lido tube. These are so small and lightweight. So this tube is actually a tube that's rated for a 700 by 45 all the way up to, I believe, almost a 60. And this really is the key to making this saddlebag work for a gravel bike. Then I have my typical assortment of tools here. I have a CO2, a tire lever, my Dynaplug Air with a valve core remover, and all this fits conveniently in here. I keep it in a little baggie just to separate everything, but I still actually do have a little bit of room. I could put some change in here or even just an extra camera battery for my Sony cameras that I use. So there still is a little bit of room that isn't overstuffing this. And then simply, that's gonna close up very easily and then simply mount back on my bike. Now let's get into price. The Smuggler Handlebar bag is gonna come in at 40 bucks. And the saddlebag is coming in at $29. So a great value for a very lightweight. Granted, they are very minimal and there isn't much to those bags, but this could be something that is great for you if you're looking, again, for just a smaller bag to carry on it, or if you have a road biker in your life who is not wanting to convert to the great lifestyle, which is handlebar bag life. This is a great lightweight option to carry on their bike with them. So now let's get into my final thoughts. What are my pros and cons for each of these bags? So let's start with the handlebar bag. If you've watched any of my other handlebar bag reviews, the main thing that I really do like with every single bag is the loop structure on the front, which allows me to simply slide in or attach either cool pins and memorabilia or a bike light to the front. I get that they wanted this very minimal and lightweight, but I would like to see at least one of these straps like they have in the back located in the middle here so you can clip on a front light for blinky lights. I think that that would be an easy thing that they could add on that would add some functionality and keep the weight down. And this bag does not have any side pouches like a lot of handlebar bags do. I typically only use the side pouches to carry maybe an extra gel or two and then use the other side essentially as a trash bag, but that's not something I really am super concerned with. That would be something I think that if they were going to go a little bit larger and make a second, like an XL version of this, to probably add the side bags, someone's probably going to want the extra storage, but I think the loop should come either way. As far as mounting goes, I do like the dual mounting options that this does have, and I do like the valet straps as an option. I think technically as far as weight goes, Velcro straps would probably be lighter, but I do like that you can actually yank on these and get a good amount of leverage and torque to hold this bag pretty securely, again, without that extra loop at the bottom here. But the pro is, again, this is super light. I would keep this on my road bike or any bike, honestly, at all times and never take it off because it weighs so little. And that just keeps more stuff out of my back pockets, which I do like the feel of. So this is something that can basically permanently live on your bike no matter kind of what you're doing, because no matter what kind of ride you're doing, you're probably gonna bring at least something with you, or just do a t-shirt ride and put your phone and a couple of things in here and just get going. Now for the saddlebag. This is definitely not for the faint-hearted as far as the size goes. I really think that unless you're riding a road bike purely, you're probably gonna have to go with a Turbo Lido tube for this. So it is something that you're gonna have to add into, I think, the price of going with this. But again, it is super small and I really like how it almost disappears at the back of the bike. I think the look is great. The small form factor I really do like. This valet strap, again, was a little tough to initially get on. And one thing that I would add for the handlebar bag as well is I wish they would include clips like this, the kind of dual strap to hold the excess in the handlebar bag as something you can add or remove depending on the thickness of your handlebars and tape. This, I think, is just a great way to make sure those straps don't come out or pop out while you're riding. Besides that, I've been super happy with it. Again, I've wanted something really light and minimal to carry on my bike when I'm just doing my standard rides. I do have other great larger saddlebags if I do need to carry more items, or I want to carry 2 tubes, let's say, on a longer ride or an overnight bikepacking trip or something like that. But I'm definitely happy with these, especially for the price for both items. I really think that at a total cost of $69 for both of these, I think that's a great value in general. As long as you're okay with, again, the more minimalistic aspects of this and the limitations to these size types of bags. So I hope you like this video. If you haven't subscribed or turned notifications on already, please do. You can follow me on Facebook and Instagram. Links for these products are all in the description below. And if you want to help support the channel, I do have cool merch in the links below, as well as a Patreon where I do offer bike consultations and one-on-one Zoom calls to discuss anything bike related for my top 2 tier levels. And lastly, thanks for watching this episode of Locked In. Let's get